Hello guys, how's it going? I'm doing 2 videos today, just trying to get some more time with this microphone, playing around with the settings. So I got another battle for you, got my replays working too. In this battle, I'm playing the vampire counts and I'm playing against the high elves. I'm going to start doing my overlay a little bit different. I'm going to start from this top-down perspective. And from this perspective, we can see I have 5 units of Grave Guard, one of which is the Stearnsman. These are all the shielded version, because I'm playing against the High Elves, and I'm expecting lots of missiles. I also have 2 units of Fellbats, 1 on each flank. I have 2 Black Coaches, and a unit of Blood Knights, as well as the Blood Dragon Lord on a horse that'll be accompanying them. Should actually be a pretty cool look for him. And then for the High Elves, they have a unit of Dragon Princes, the Fireborn, 2 Bolt Throwers, looks like 3 Lothran Sea Guard. They have a Lariel sitting here. Then they have, it looks like, 3 units of Spearmen and 2 Sword Masters of Hoeth. They've taken a corner of the map. I'm not calling them a camper, but they definitely went as deep away from me as possible and on this hill. Getting the most out of their range units this way. Nothing wrong with that. But anyways, as I see this, I'm going to start approaching with all of my units here. I'm going to try and use the Black Coaches and the Fellbats to screen the advance of the rest of my units. These Skeleton Warriors here are kind of conveniently placed in a way, because they're going to just be taking the Bolt Thrower fire and a lot of the direct attention, while my Grave Guard going to make it in a little bit more safely, since they won't be right in front of the enemy force. Pulling the Fellbats forward, and the Black Coach is trying to dodge some shots from the Bolt Throwers there. Try and strafe back and forth. I mean, I'd pull back the Fellbats too to dodge those arrows. Just trying to avoid as much damage as possible here, as you can see. Can help you a lot. Ooh, do take a big hit there though. Yeah. But if I can get into the Sword Masters of Hoeth, I will be able to do great work, because these things here have a good charge bonus. They're anti-infantry, they cause terror, and they have a lot of mass, so they're really hard for enemy to stop unless they use their cav, which I don't see them being used here, so I feel free to pull forward, and I pull right through into the Lothran Sea Guard, into the Spearman. This guy's taking quite a bit of damage, but he's still running rampant. We are just assigning lots of attack orders here. I got the Fellbats into some of the Lothran Sea Guard to stop them from shooting. And yeah, just spinning these guys around. I'm going to drop an Invocation of the Heck on this Black Coach before sending it back in. Keep it alive a little bit longer, cause a lot of disruption, give more time for my units to make it in. But while this is happening, I don't see it happen. But the Dragon Princes intercept my skeletons, and they get not the greatest charge off, but it doesn't take much to stop skeletons. So they do stop 1 unit of skeletons from entering the fight. She pops the Star of Averlorn down, which is understandable, but she's bunched up all of her infantry here because of the Black Coaches, which means Alariel is all alone. And I'm going to send in the Blood Dragon Lord here, as well as the Black Coach comes plowing into those Lothran Sea Guard. And we're going to lay a whooping on Alariel, because this Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is such an insane melee combatant. I mean, for all of you that haven't played in Vampires in the new update, he is basically like the Red Duke on steroids. He's better than the Red Duke as a duelist, who used to be the king of Vampire Lord hunting units. So he has 7840 with his buffs up right now, 681 weapon strength. He sunders armor, and yeah, just incredible melee combatant. They're going to charge in the Fireborn. I charge in the Blood Knights, actually into the back of their Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower and their archers. Kind of a pitched fight here. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord just standing in the middle, does not give a hoot about those Dragon Princes, and just continues to whap on Alariel. The infantry fight over here isn't looking too great. Sword Masters of Hoeth are quite strong. Oh, I do drop a Wind of Death, but it honestly doesn't do a ton. It does do some damage to the Lothran Sea Guard, but yeah. Pit of Shades would have been better. Of course, I'm not Count Noctilus, I don't have access to that. I pull the Blood Knights out, and I kind of get a late charge back into the Dragon Princes, and I'm not sure I get my charge bonus off. It's not looking too great, but Invocation of Heck will keep these guys alive a little longer. So the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord summons zombies, casts Invocation of the Heck. I mean, this is Vlad von Karstein, but better, because you can mount him. So he's not just on foot waddling around, unable to get into any important fights. So I send him in to help out with the Fireborn, because Alariel has been routed off. She has really low health. I was going to finish her off, but the Black Coach was basically the only unit that was available to do it. and I felt I would be better served by using the Black Coach for some of its anti-infantry properties, since they have a lot of infantry left to deal with. So my Graveguard did manage to slip around the Swordmasters of Hoeth, and I start sending them into the Lothran Seaguard. Actually, 2 units of Graveguard made it around into the Lothran Seaguard, which will be good. They'll trade very effectively into those units. The Lothran Seaguard are anti-large. They don't handle Graveguard super well. But yeah, just continuing to micro the Black Coach around, keep plunging it, keep it moving. For the 1,000 gold, it provides tear, pretty good charge bonus and damage. I mean, it doesn't compare to Blood Knights in terms of a single charge, but it's much easier to keep moving than Blood Knights. It just has so much mass relative to infantry. You just charge in the back of the cav and turn around. The Black Coach also turns very well. Chariot units that have multiple models are problematic because if they get caught, they can kind of act weirdly if one unit gets caught. I just love single unit chariots like the Black Coach or Cetra, the Imperishable on the Chariot of the Gods. All great. So the Blood Knights here and the zombies that I've summoned up have pushed back the Fireborn. They have Helm of Discord down on them, so they have negative melee attack and melee defense. It's looking pretty good here. They do pull away, and I didn't manage to keep up with them. I kind of got caught up in my own zombies with my Blood Knights. So I pull the Red Duke, the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord into these Spearmen here, and I'm going to start using these Blood Knights to take out some of their rallying Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers so they don't manage to get back onto their plot or their guns and catapults, ballistas. Ilariel comes back, unfortunately. She does get an Earthblood or a Shield of Thorns down, which is really my mistake. I mean, this is why you finish off Routing Lords, because as this stuff happens. But we do terrify the Swordmasters of Hoeth. That must have been the Black Coach pulling through. I think that's the only thing that causes tear in here, unless the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord causes tear. Don't see it on their stat card. You only see half the icons. I think I saw causes fear, yeah, from the Graveguard, but anywho. In comes the Black Coach again after shattering Ilariel. She won't come back now. If you rat a unit 3 times, it shatters. I think that's the way it works. The Blood Knights, looking a little haggard. They're not getting micro too well. They are fighting Lothran Seaguard, which do have anti-large values. There are Spearmen back over here. It's a little bit of a misplay, especially considering that they do have cav remaining, and I need to be using my anti-large where it is supposed to be used. These bolt throwers aren't as big of a threat to me right now as the few remaining Dragon Princes and Fireborn, which would actually be a lot bigger of a threat if Ilariel was still alive and could heal them. But since she is routed off the map, whatever they got left, those 19 Dragon Princes and the 12 Fireborn, that's it. I do get an Overcast Invocation of the Heck on this blob, which can help a lot. Can heal up all my guys, except for the Blood Knights, who do get pulled to finally deal with the remaining Dragon Princes. The Black Coach gets sent off to deal with these regrouped Swordmasters of Hoeth, while my infantry blob, I think, goes after the Dragon Princes as well to back up the Blood Knights. And as you can see, no response from the Swordmasters, so just gonna ride through and kill 2, 3, 4 on that charge and come through again. They're terrified. I mean, Black Coach is not a bad unit. Not at all. So I'll take a look at the post-battle screen here. 74 kills on the Black Coach that managed to stay alive for the whole match, and that was on, top high-tier infantry. That was on Swordmasters of Hoeth. I guess Lothran Seaguard with shields. Not exactly high-tier infantry, but they certainly aren't cheap. I think they're 850 gold. The Dragon Princes got used to pretty good effect, breaking the charge of the skeletons initially. But they got bogged down against the Blood Knights without support of Ilariel. Now, with Ilariel, I think the 2 units of Dragon Princes would have been able to handle the Blood Knights, especially because they had so much anti-large support with them. Star of Averlorn and Earthblood, I think, would have outdone the Invocation of the Heck in this instance. If the Blood Dragon Lord was with them, it'd be interesting to see how Helm of Discord and the Armor Sundering played into that. But it'd be interesting to test kind of in a vacuum scenario, like just charge in and let them play out. I think the Graveguard did pretty well, traded very efficiently against, mostly against Lothran Seaguard and Spearmen. There were quite a few Swordmasters, though, just chopping it up. Fortunately, for most of the game, they were just fighting those 2 units of skeletons. They didn't make it into the Graveguard till very late. That chaff made a nice shield. for my Graveguard. Fell bats are essential. Wouldn't change a thing about them. They died, but they served their purpose. For 350 gold, they disrupted the enemy. Pretty critical. It was definitely a close match between me and This Is Water. I had a lot of fun playing it. Um, uh, yeah, it's one of those things that really could have gone either way. If the Blood Dragon Lord didn't manage to sold out Alariel so quickly, I don't think I would have won that match. I think it's a superior position and army composition to mine, to counter mine at least. One thing to note, especially about my opponent's build, I'm pretty sure Alariel was not mounted in any way. She was on foot. Um, this is not a good thing. Um, 500 gold puts her in the air. I understand if you don't want to put her in the air against the vampires, especially if she's by herself. That's totally reasonable. But spend a few hundred gold to get her that unicorn or barded warsteed. I don't remember where she gets unicorn or barded warsteed, but just the mount makes her able to run away from someone like the dragon vampire lord. She can pull through her own units. If she's on foot, she is subject to the whims of faster units and casters on foot. Never put a cast. Never have casters on foot. I mean, I say never. I don't know the situation in which it's a good call. If you can think of one, let me know. But until then, be well.